You cut all this.
It's gonna be nothing but bloopers. Okay.
It's gonna be bloopers.
Hello! Hello and welcome to the Thank You for Knitting YouTube channel. My name is Alana and I'm a yarn shop owner and knitwear designer living in Auckland, New Zealand. And this is Alex.
Hi!
So Alex is my friend and she's visiting, and so we thought it would be a good opportunity to make a little video, and I thought we could talk a little bit about what it's like to be a knitwear designer, because we are in a world where there are so many independent knitwear designers and it's pretty easy. Like, there's pretty much no barrier to entry if you want to become a knitwear designer. And I talked a little bit, like I had a video about Ravelry, and some people were asking me questions about how to basically become a designer on Ravelry, how to publish patterns, stuff like that. So we won't get into like
The technicals.
yeah, super detail about all of that, but we'll just talk a little bit about your start to designing and maybe mine, and kind of how you can get into it. If someone watching this is interested in getting into it, like what are the steps, what is necessary, because it's kind of a short list of what you need to actually do. So okay, before we talk about designing, should we talk about
How we met?
how we know each other?
Yeah. I accidentally, oh, wait for that.
Yeah, phone, shop life.
Okay. I accidentally moved to New Zealand in 2021.
Do you want to explain how you accidentally moved to New Zealand?
Okay. Well, my dad, okay. Long story short, my dad and my sister accidentally got stuck in New Zealand for 11 months in 2020.
Because of COVID, right?
Because of COVID, yeah. It was like supposed to be a 2-week trip, and they were here for 11 months because they couldn't leave. So my dad decided to move here, and he's still here. In the middle of nowhere in South Island. Glenorchy, it's beautiful, but has nothing. But he loves it. And so I came to New Zealand, and I was gonna just stay here for like a month or two, and then the second lockdown happened.
Yeah.
And I think it was right after the second lockdown where I came to knit night one day, and I was talking to my friend, and I was saying how I want to work at a yarn store.
Yeah.
And Alana was like, do you want to work at this yarn store? And I was like, okay.
I think it was literally that first night you came to knit night, and you were like, I want to work at a yarn store someday. And I was like, well, we're actually hiring.
Yeah.
Like that same night.
Yeah.
I'm like, do you want to work here? And you were like, sure.
And I think the person who had the position before me literally left like a day or two ago.
Someone had just left.
Yeah.
And that was like literally, a couple days before you showed up. So then you worked here for a while, a couple years, I think.
Like a year and a half?
In my mind, it was like 3 years.
Yeah,
but,
it feels like it. Because we love each other.
Yeah. I mean, you still kind of work here. You just live in another country.
I technically still work here.
You're
I'm
still in the
payroll.
system, yeah. But being in another country makes it kind of inconvenient. Yeah. But she'll come back to town. You'll come back to town like once a year or twice a year, and then you just like work for it.
Yeah. I love this store. It's my favorite yarn store. I'm not biased. Because you're not paying me anymore.
That's true. I'm not paying you to say that.
Yeah. But it's
true.
my favorite yarn store.
Aww.
I've been to a lot of yarn stores.
That's really nice. Yeah, so that's how we met. And
how did I... Actually, I started designing also because of Alana.
Yeah.
The first like proper pattern I did, it was because I still remember we're standing right there at the door between the shop and the back of the shop, and Alana was telling me how she was going to submit a... What is it? Just like...
Oh, like a, what do you... a submission?
Yeah. To
Proposal?
magazine that they do quarterly like submission calls, and then Alana suggested that I also try to submit something.
Oh yeah, okay, let me say this. I started designing in like 2016 before I had the shop, and it was always, I mean, I designed a little bit, then I got the shop or started the shop, and then my designing has always taken a back seat because the shop, it turns out running a shop is busy, so you can't just like be a knitwear designer and have a shop. So I mean, I am those things, but the knitwear design is sort of like ad hoc, and it's when I have time and whatever. But what's funny is that I was doing it for years before I met you. I met you in what, 2021? Yeah. I was doing it for years, and I submitted, I don't know, 5, 6, 7, 10. I don't know. I submitted multiple times to like Pom Pom magazine, Lina magazine, different other things. I've never ever been accepted. I mean, I haven't submitted now in years, but back then I was never accepted to anything ever. And then Alex, the first time, I'm like, oh, you should submit too. And It's your first submission that was accepted, right?
But I didn't think it would be accepted, so I wasn't checking my email.
Yeah.
And they sent me like when I checked, they sent me an email and then sent me one like a week later and be like, so you want this or not?
Did you get our email? Because I've seen your email. You have like 2,500 emails.
No, I have like 52,000.
52,000 unread emails. Yeah, so it was very exciting. I remember like when you didn't tell me.
Yeah, I didn't tell Alana because I wanted it to be
a surprise.
Like I wanted her to get, because we had Pom Pom magazine in the store, and wanted her to like get it.
Yeah.
And then see it. Like I thought that would be fun.
Yeah.
But then
how did I find out?
Because they select the yarn that I have to use.
Oh, yeah.
And then they selected Zilana, and Zilana contacted Alana to ask if instead of them sending me the yarn, I could just get yarn from my local yarn store.
Yeah, that's right. Because Zilana, we carry Zilana. So they emailed me and they're like, someone who works at your shop is going to be in Pom Pom magazine or something. And I was like, what?
Yeah, because the email I used was my store email.
Yeah. So that was exciting. So then I found out, but I'm glad I found out because then I could test knit the design for you. So that was your first that wasn't your very first pattern?
That's my second pattern. My first one was like a really simple headband.
Oh yeah, the scrappy headband.
The free one, yeah.
Yeah, I knit that as well. But then your first like big pattern was the Anjou, is that how we say it? Anjou.
Yeah, Anjou.
It sounds French. Anjou pullover. French. And I mean, it's a great design. Like, because it's easy to make, it's not complicated, it's like textural.
Sorry, I think it's not complicated as long as you're reading the pattern and not making assumptions.
Yeah, you have to think about what you're doing, but I think for like the impact you get from the look of it, it's pretty easy to do. And I test knit it for you, but I have it. Let me show. I'll just grab it. Okay, the camera's not going to focus because it's in the wrong mode, but I was going to wear this and it's hot today. It's warm, so I didn't wear it. I'll insert a photo of your original version. You have a brown version and a green version.
Yeah.
They're more like
a yellowy
green, chartreuse. Yeah. And so her ones are kind of low contrast colors.
Because the theme of that issue of Pom Pom is monochrome.
Yes.
So
that's right.
Why.
Yeah. But it's a good look. And then I did mine very different because I used Spin Cycle, and it's not like a high contrast, but maybe a medium contrast. I don't know, but I'm happy with it. Yeah. So you have like this cool, the lines go this way and then they go that way, and get this like grid. And
I think it looks a lot more complicated than it is.
Exactly. Yeah. I think that's my point. Like for what it looks, it's not hard to do because there's a lot of slip stitches.
Yeah, it's just knit, purl, and slips basically.
Yeah. Knit, purl, slip, easy, and it's got this nice like shoulder. That's the back shoulder detail. Oh, there's like my hair on it. Yeah, I don't know how well this is going to show up because we're in cinematic mode, but anyway, so that was her first design, and we were all so excited because it was published in Pom Pom magazine, and that was before we learned that Pom Pom magazine was going to be discontinued. And that was the second to last issue, right?
Yeah, I think it's 2022 or 2023.
Yeah, that seems right, because then we went to Rhinebeck.
2023. Because it was the one that came out during Rhinebeck.
Oh, yeah. So then we traveled to Rhinebeck together, and that was fun. And we flew to New York City, and we went to Rhinebeck 2023. And they had like the Pom Pom booth, and you were one of the local designer, celebrity, famous designer, VIP.
I don't know.
Yeah,
making it up.
But that was really fun because they had like the issue.
Yeah, because they had my sample there, and
So that's a pretty unique way, I guess, to start designing, honestly. To get into a magazine, also a very popular knitting magazine that early on, is probably a unique experience. I mean, it certainly wasn't my experience, and it probably got you a lot of, I don't know what the word is, customers or views or...
Actually, not really.
Not really?
So. Yeah,
what has been the evolution of that pattern? Because I've seen it recently in like the top...
Yeah, and I don't know why.
We don't know why. We never know why.
Yeah, I don't know why. And then like sometimes you'll just get like a lot of follows all of a sudden. I have no idea why.
And you don't know why, yeah. Or like sales. This happens to me sometimes. One time I got like a ton of sales randomly on a, like, was my mitts pattern, which had been designed maybe 6 years prior. But I had no idea why. I eventually found out somebody hosted a workshop about that pattern. And suddenly everybody bought that pattern. But that's kind of the excitement of designing. It's like something that you worked on 5 years ago, you can suddenly make all this money off of it.
Because one of my beanies, I'll send you the link so you can put it here.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, but it was like a year or two after I designed it, suddenly, like I think within 1 month it sold like 200 or 300 copies.
Wow.
Yeah.
Which beanie?
It's the one that looks like it's like the woven
woven stuff. Yeah. We'll insert a photo of stuff. Yeah. Okay, so that was your entry into designing. You got into Pom Pom magazine, very exciting. Anjou. You have since done a lot more like Anjou themed designs and
Initially, it wasn't really a plan, but then people would say to me like, "Oh, I really like this jumper, but it's like a DK/worsted weight." And they're like, "Oh, I don't wear anything that thick. You make like a summer top." And then people are like, "Oh, I don't really like garments. Can you make like an accessory?" So I just kept making.
Yeah.
There's like a summer tank, and then there is. Oh, I did have a hat design. I'll send it to Alana and she'll insert it here. Yeah. But I haven't released the pattern yet.
Ooh.
Yeah, there are socks and mitts.
The socks are really cute.
Yeah, and like a V-neck vest, slip over type thing.
Slip over, yeah.
The socks are actually really fun because okay, this is like a tangent, but I'm really bad at making the second sock. But then what I did was, it's 2 colors, so you have the main color and the contrast color, but then I changed them around for the second pair, so the second sock, so it feels like you're kind of like, manipulating yourself, like gaslighting yourself into thinking it's something different. So you actually make the second one. And also, because I have like pretty small-ish feet, I wear like EU 37. So for mine, I just use less than 200 meters of each color. So if when you change the contrast in the main color, then you can use less, I guess, in total, because the contrast, you use less of the contrast yarn.
So you could have like a 50 grams of each color and still make a pair, basically. Oh, cool.
That was so much better than what I said.
What you said was beautiful. Okay, so you had the pattern in the magazine, but that's not the majority of what you do. The majority of what you do is self-publishing on Ravelry, which is what I do as well. So I will briefly say, because I want this to be useful for anyone who's going to, or who's considering launching into self-publishing, Ravelry is the place where, well, there's other platforms, but Ravelry is the main one where they've basically made it so easy for people to self-publish. Like, maybe we can talk briefly about what are the barriers to entry. Like, basically, in terms of upfront costs, I mean, minimal. You have to have yarn, you have to have needles, and the only other thing you really have to pay for up front would be a tech editor, right?
Or a computer. A
computer, you're right. If you don't have a computer, that's more like, I guess you need a computer and you need to be able to use spreadsheets really for grading. I mean, you have to learn grading, which is a bit of a learning curve, I guess.
If you're good at math, it's easy, but if you're not good at math, I think you have to...
That's true. That could be another upfront cost. Some people pay for like grading courses. I didn't do that. You didn't do that either. So how did you learn grading? Kind of just teaching it to yourself. Yeah. Same. Like, you can look up charts for standard size measurements. That's a good starting point. Then I kind of created my own chart for measurements. I kind of like changed it. Because measurements are complicated, like it's proportions and sizes. Things don't just go up in the same proportions.
And also, like, for example, something like this where there is a stitch repeat where you have to increase by a certain number of stitches. It's kind of tough sometimes.
Yeah, and you have to fit your stitch counts into the measurements for the different sizes, which can be tricky, especially with like color work. And so grading, I like this. I think grading is... it's maths, but it's also a little bit of an art form. It's not just straight maths. You do a little bit more like creative thinking around grading. So, okay, let's say the upfront costs would be materials, whatever those are, yarn, needles, which if you're considering design, you probably already have those things. A computer, so you can do spreadsheets and create PDF documents, basically. And then, I mean, to put a pattern out on Ravelry is free. There's just fees, like a pretty small fee, I think.
Very small, actually.
Very small, right? Every time you sell a pattern, there's a small fee. It is not a major fee.
Actually, so Ravelry only accepts payment through PayPal, and PayPal takes more.
That's true. I know the PayPal thing is a little bit, I know why they do it, because they're dealing with I don't know, millions of different people and tiny individual sales and currencies, but PayPal does take a lot of fees. You don't know off the top of your head the percentage that Ravelry takes, do you?
I think it's like 2.5 or something, really low.
I agree, like less than 3%.
I think it's 2.5 because the most you have to pay per month is $50. So it's up until you sell $2,000 and they don't charge anything.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I'm not good at keeping track of stuff. All I know is that when I look at my sales every month and then pay my little bill, I'm always like, oh, that's nothing much. So it's not a big deal. And so you don't have to pay for any of that anyway until you sell patterns.
Yeah.
So other than that, your upfront cost would be a tech editor. That's the most important thing. That I mean, if you want to sell your patterns, you really should have a tech editor because every single time I write a pattern, and I always think I've like covered everything or I've done it all correctly, and the tech editor always finds at least something. Right?
And then your tech editor also thinks that they've caught everything, and then within 2 minutes of your test knitter receiving it, they'll find something that's wrong.
Exactly. And you're like, how did I not see that? So test knitters is another thing that's really important. However, you don't pay them. It's more of like, it's more of a trade, you know? People voluntarily do it because they like to do it. They get the pattern for free in exchange. Sometimes you gift them another pattern.
I give them another
I usually do that too.
Yeah.
I think I always do that. Yeah, just to kind of show your appreciation. But fundamentally, they're knitting a project with their own materials for themselves and keeping it. They're just trading the fact that, you know, the pattern might not be in its final form. So they are giving you feedback and you're giving them a free pattern.
Yeah.
Super easy, but it's great to have a lot of testers because they always find stuff. I like to have a range of testers with different abilities too. Because like, if you're an expert knitter, you'll kind or like prolific knitter, you'll kind of like auto correct the pattern in your own mind. Yeah,
that's what happened to your beanie pattern. Like none of us caught it until Alex, who is a beginner knitter, knitted it, and he was like,
"You're right.
That doesn't make sense."
Yeah,
because we all auto-corrected it.
We auto-correct. We're like, I know what this is supposed to say. I think when I've tested it for you too, and I never find anything. Yeah. Because I think I'm also just auto-correcting. Or because it's perfect.
Oh, and I also think if you want testers, like as you have more patterns, it's always good to have people, like new testers, because I think your old testers also get used to your language and they can also like autocorrect in their head, or it's too easy for them, or like even if you're not explaining it well, they still understand, but then other people who are buying your patterns might not. They know your style, and that's true. Getting new test knitters. So when I started designing, I think it was 2016, I found everything that I needed to know on Ravelry. Like there are forums on Ravelry that talk, I think there's a whole group or something in a forum that just is for designers, and it has so many resources like how to find test knitters, how to run your test knits, where to find tech editors. There's lists of people, there's resources listed, there's a wealth of information in Ravelry that for me, that was really all that I needed. The only other thing that I ended up using for help with grading that I found really helpful, it was a blog called Sister Mountain. Did you ever read that? Yeah. And I think there's just some really helpful information about grading specifically. And I think they have like a course that you can, like an online course you can do if you wanted to.
Yeah, I didn't do, like you pay for it, right?
Yeah, I think so.
I didn't do that, but it's probably really good because even the free resources were really good. And then other than that, Ravelry walks you through how to publish the pattern, and so that helps you even know how to write it, honestly, because as you're entering Ravelry, as you're entering the pattern on Ravelry, you're putting like the name, the info, and they'll give you little tips like make sure you tell them the needle size or whatever. Yeah. And then there's all these different things that you select, you know, attributes and whatever. They walk you through it step by step. Yeah.
And I think it's always good to look at like a designer maybe you like and see what they include.
Yeah. Okay, so our camera died and we're trying a new way, so hopefully it works this time.
I hope it works.
Yeah, I'm scared.
You can do it. I believe in you.
Yeah. But you were saying something really interesting. I think we talked a little bit about uploading your designs on Ravelry. We were talking about like what do you need to know if you're considering designing, and you made a really good point.
Yeah, so I think a lot of people when they first start getting into designing, they think they need to design something that's 100% revolutionary and that no one's ever seen before, but it's not really possible. And if you kind of limit yourself in that way, then I think it's really hard to come up with a design.
Yeah.
So as long as you're not actually trying to copy someone, because if you look at on Ravelry, you can see that there are maybe like 100 plain raglan designs. But when you look into it, they're all actually different. And sometimes even if they look super similar, the writing is going to be different and the formatting is going to be different. So people will still prefer one over the other.
Totally. Yeah.
Even if it's the same, like maybe they'll like your style of writing and formatting over someone else's. So if you're coming up with it by yourself, then I think it's fine even if it's a little similar to someone else's. So
totally. And that's a good point too, that people who start to like your patterns, they're gonna trust your style and they're gonna like your other patterns most likely. Like I can attest to that working in the yarn shop too, because when we're trying to help customers find patterns, it's so nice when I find a pattern by a designer I've knit from before, because I feel really confident recommending that. There's been a few times where I've thought, oh, this is a great pattern, and then you look into it and the construction is confusing or whatever. So on the topic of copying, because I think probably most designers experience this at some point. Early on, I had someone send me an email and say, basically, I think you copied my design, blah, blah, blah. They look so similar. Here's a photo. And the way that I handled that, this was a hat that I designed. I think it was my driftless hat pattern, which is like a very, very simple colorwork idea where the top half is one color, the bottom half is the other color, and then there's these kind of like speckly colorwork to blend the two colors in the middle. That's the design. And what I did was I found like 3 or 4 other patterns on Ravelry that were also similar, and I just wrote back a long response like, I haven't actually seen your design, I didn't copy it, I think it's just a kind of maybe a common idea, here's 3 other versions that are similar, blah blah blah. And then that person was super nice about it. But I think that happens.
Yeah. It happened to me as well, where I had a design and then someone else designed something really similar. And I think someone made her aware that it was really similar to my design. So she contacted me to make sure I was okay with it. But because she is a more popular designer. So I think a lot of people have seen her pattern first and then saw mine and assumed that I copied hers, even though like mine was published before hers.
Yeah.
But I think, it happens all the time. And just because some look similar doesn't mean necessarily that they're copying each other, because there are only so many stitch combinations.
Totally, yeah. And I think I see a lot of debate around what is copying. And I would say copying is when you're actually taking someone's words, because on the flip side of that, there's also people who I've heard say, oh, I was following this petite knit pattern, for example, but I actually ended up changing a little detail here and a detail there. I think I'm going to make that into my own pattern. And I'm thinking, no, because you took the pattern from her still. That's actually copying.
Yeah.
You're changing the details, but if you're taking the maths and the wording and all of the shaping and whatever, you are copying.
Yeah.
If you're copying the words and you're copying how it's written, how it's structured, all that, that is copying. But the concept, like you said, of like a top-down raglan pullover, that's not copying anyone, because there's so many of them. Yeah,
I think as long as they're developed independently. Yeah,
exactly. Yeah, which happens all the time. Because I mean, how many different things can you knit? Yeah. While the phone was
dead.
Yeah, while the phone was dead, we were talking about test knitting, and I mean, first I want to say that test knitting is kind of a phenomenon that's associated with indie designers. Like in the old days, designers would work for yarn companies or yarn brands or whatever, they still do, or magazines, and create a design for that magazine. Somebody would tech edit it, somebody would probably sample knit it, but there wasn't such thing as test knitting. Test knitting is a phenomenon that's mostly associated with independent designing. And so test knitting is great because, like we said before, different people find different things that you wouldn't otherwise find, but it is a volunteer, it's like a volunteer service. It's a voluntary trade of services. It's not a person doing a job. You're not paying them to do the job. They're trading.
They're not being forced to do the job. Yeah, they're choosing to do it. They're choosing to volunteer their time.
Yeah, exactly, because they want to. A lot of people, they just want access to the pattern, or the pattern for free, or the extra pattern you send them, or they're excited to be doing something that a designer is just about to come out with or whatever.
I know people who really like test knitting. Like they also, I think maybe if they're a procrastinator and they have like having the deadline, it's really nice.
Yeah, I feel that way.
Yeah.
Like being forced, I need a deadline to like force me to do something. Yeah.
Or to complete something.
Yeah. So when you have test groups, I think it's similar to me. Like, I would say we're pretty chill about the test knitting. Like, I'm always aware I'm not paying these people. This isn't a job. This is, a voluntary trade. If someone can't get it done on time, like, I'm never upset about that.
It happens to me every single test knit I've hosted. Like, there'll be one or two people who can't finish it for various reasons. And that's totally fine. And they're usually super apologetic about it. But I'm like, no, that's totally fine. Like, you're volunteering your time. I'm just thankful that, you at least tried.
Yeah. Someone will be like, I'm so sorry. I'm having surgery. I can't do the test. I'm like, oh my gosh.
Don't worry about it.
That's so much more important. Yeah. So
I think just like a mutual respect thing. I mean, obviously, if you signed up for someone's test knit, don't just like abandon
flake
it.
out.
Don't just flake just cause, but then also like respect that people have lives and things happen.
Totally. Yeah. How many test knitters do you think you have usually per pattern?
Ooh, it depends. Like, I'll have more test knitters if it's like an accessory that has less sizes, then I'll have more test knitters per size.
Yes.
So that, and then, but if it's garments, then I'll have less test knitters per size because there'll be more test knitters in general.
Yeah. You're right. And for me, when I'm getting test knitters for garments, I get so many people who all want to knit the same sizes. Yeah. It's hard to actually get the range of sizes, especially the upper size range, or sometimes the very smallest size, maybe. It's always like the second, third, fourth size that everybody wants to do. Yeah.
And I've seen some designers, like I think Sari Norland does this. If she can't get a tester for, let's say like a bigger size, she'll write in the description, like, if you want to, these sizes haven't been test knitted. If you want to knit it, you can contact me and I'll send it to you for free so you can like test knit it for me.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, that's a good strategy.
Aw, soulmates.
What else do we have to talk about?
Yeah.
I think
okay.
Another hot take?
It's not a hot take. No. I'm just trying to see how to say this. But like, I think it's hard as a new designer to be discovered. Like, I think the more popular you are, the more successful you're likely to be when you release a pattern. Totally. So when you first release patterns, don't be disheartened. Yeah, if like not a lot of people buy it, because like, and you're like, oh, I spent so much time and no one's buying it. But then maybe like as you grow, people will come back to your old patterns. So it's not really like a time wasted. And also, if you're a new designer, it might be a good idea for your like first few patterns to have them be free. They don't have to be super complicated ones. So people can discover you, and if they like how you write, they might want to.
That's a good point. Yeah, I was thinking about what it feels like just day to day, the financial side a little bit. And I mean, essentially, like we alluded to, the way it works on Ravelry is, I mean, you basically do all the work up front. Yeah. So it could take, how long would you say from start to finish working on a pattern? It's hard, right? Because of the knitting.
Yeah, especially with more complicated garments. It takes weeks.
Or months.
Yeah.
Right? With the knitting and everything?
Yeah, with the knitting. And then, especially if you have I'm just thinking about like my cable ones where there's so much math and there's so much planning, and it's just so sometimes it does feel like, oh, I spend like hundreds of hours and I only have this much sale. But then just remember that you're only doing it once, and then whatever you get, like, in the next 10 years, you get sales from it.
It's like residual income, I guess. So it feels like so much work up front, and then once you launch the pattern and you put it out there in the world, I mean, you put the pattern on Ravelry, you have your PDF, it's an automatic download, and then it just sits there. And then, I mean, the only other real maintenance you have to do labor-wise after that is answering people's emails if they have questions or issues with the pattern or clarifications or something. There's a bit of pattern help that you kind of have to do. But otherwise, you just sit there and the sales just kind of trickle through. And then you get like once a monthly payout from Ravelry.
Wait, no.
Is it once a month?
No, it's not. It's
how often is it?
Each transaction
quarter?
You get paid.
Oh.
So you get, sorry.
Oh, you're right. I'm thinking of, because it all goes into my PayPal, and then like once a month I dump it into my bank account.
So you can pay yourself once a month.
You can pay yourself however often you want.
But if you choose to, one thing we didn't talk about. So as a designer, you can choose to only sell it to individuals, or you can let stores sell it as well.
Yeah.
And if you let stores, like yarn stores, sell it, then it's once a month you get paid by yarn stores.
Oh, you're right. Yeah. So that's, I've talked about that before when I did a Ravelry video, or like how to use Ravelry, and like we as the shop have the in-store sales system turned on, and that's voluntary, because some designers don't choose to do that, because then you're not getting 100% of the money.
You can get 60%.
That's I didn't know off the top of my head, but
I'm pretty sure it's
60, and then the smaller percentage goes to the shop.
Yeah.
But if you think about it too, I mean, you're not losing. You could say that you're losing a percentage of the money, but you might have never made that sale in the first place if that shop hadn't found your pattern. So it's kind of good exposure as well. Obviously it's voluntary, but I mean, I have that enabled. You have that enabled.
For some of my patterns.
For some of them.
Yeah. I don't know why. I just...
Oh, yeah. Okay. So she only wants to share some of her patterns.
I flip-flop on it sometimes, so yeah.
Yeah, it's because it is a trade-off. Yeah. Like, you're losing a percentage of the money, you're probably gaining exposure, you might even be gaining sales. And because you can sell an infinite number of the same PDF download, they don't have an individual cost per PDF to create or whatever. So it's totally fine if you want to have it enabled or not enabled. But I find it seems like the majority of people do, just from when I'm on the yarn shop side and I'm looking for patterns, it seems that the majority have that enabled, which is quite good. Yeah. You're still getting paid, but you're sharing a little money with the yarn shop, and then maybe reaching more people, possibly. But the exponential income thing is awesome, because like I said earlier, you can suddenly make a ton of money on a pattern you wrote years ago. Yeah. So cool.
So don't be discouraged.
Exactly. Yeah. It only builds with time. Yeah. Every new pattern, it builds.
Yeah. And one more thing about the, I guess, like maintenance is you can also have updates. So like you can correct mistakes, or like for this sweater pattern that I did, I actually did an update where it's the same pattern, but I've written it better. Like the increases that confused people before, like I've rewritten them. Yeah. So that, it's more clear. Yeah.
I mean, I thought it was clear already.
Oh, thank you.
But when I knit my second version.
You can always do that as well.
I'm grateful for Ravelry. I'm grateful to Ravelry, because before that we didn't have a way to do this. Yeah. Before it was like, oh, you want to be a knitwear designer, you have to get a brand like Rowan to hire you. Yeah. Which we never would have, because we didn't have any experience.
And I think a lot of people, especially crocheters, sell patterns on Etsy, but I think it's more complicated, and it's not, because Ravelry is for knitting and crochet patterns, and there's like a community, and I think there's a lot less fees. But then Etsy, obviously, like if you just want to do it on top, I think that's a good idea too if you want to, but I think there're just like a lot more fees involved, and then it's not, I think you have to pay for ads and stuff like that.
Etsy, because I do have some of my patterns, not all of them, on Etsy. Percentage-wise, I sell way more patterns on Ravelry than on Etsy. Etsy is good. It trickles in here and there, but it's a small percentage for me compared to Ravelry. And the fees are a little higher. Yeah,
and it's easier to find like specific patterns on Ravelry, I think, because of the filters.
Exactly. And like you say, it's built for knitting and crochet, so it's very tailored to that. Yeah, which is good.
And I really, like every time I talk about Ravelry, I'm like super touched by the people who created it, because they obviously didn't create it to make money. Like if they wanted to, I think they can make so much money, but then that's not the purpose of Ravelry. It's just love.
Exactly. Because I believe the people who created it have other jobs. I don't think they've set it up in a way where they are not personally making hardly any money off of it.
I think it's just for like the maintenance of the website probably.
And like you say, they really just did it as something for the community, which is awesome. Yeah. That's probably part of why the site is so good. Yeah, and I think one of the people who built it is a coder, like a computer coder, because in my opinion, as a user, I'm not a coder, but as a user, I feel like the filters and how everything is set up is actually very like sophisticated. So.
Yeah. Tag your patterns properly so people can find it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Yeah, because when people are doing those filters, you
choose as many attributes that apply. Yeah.
Yes, good tip. Yeah.
Oh, and I guess one more thing, I don't really do it, but you should. Just like I don't swatch, but you should.
Yes.
a lot of people, they would design with more popular yarns because there are also people who search Ravelry by the yarn they buy.
Yeah.
So they'll design in more popular yarns. I don't. I just design in whatever yarn I like.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that's also a good idea. Like if you design in a more popular yarn, more people will see your pattern.
But then on the flip side, like you want to support smaller yarn brands or whatever. Yeah. It's tricky. It's a tricky world out there. But I think if you're creating things that you love to knit and that you love to wear and then sharing them with people, there's a high likelihood that other people will love them too. Yeah I feel like I have an endless well of pattern ideas and just never enough time to you too.
She has a really, I'm gonna say it so that she has to release the pattern. She has a really beautiful slip over pattern that she started designing when I was still working in this store. Like 2 years ago. But she hasn't written it, but it's so nice.
I've never worn it on here because then people will ask me about the pattern.
Well, I said it, so.
It is cute. I will write it down. I have to remember everything. I'm probably gonna have to knit another sample.
That's another good idea.
Oh, yeah.
Definitely. I mean, I don't do it.
Do as I say, not as I do.
I mean, I always regret when I don't do it, but then as you are knitting your first, because I'm someone who don't plan before I start knitting.
Yeah, like you just cast.
I just cast on.
And
then it'll happen. But then I think it's good to have a record because you think you're going to remember, but you will not remember.
So true.
Yeah,
I was actually going to ask you your design process.
Okay.
You just like start
chaos
knitting.
and vibes.
Chaos and vibes.
Yeah.
And then later you just try to like remember it.
Yeah. And math it out.
Yeah.
And then I knit a second one.
Yeah,
I always knit a second one.
You always knit. You usually knit even more than two. Yeah.
Not for complicated garments, but like,
for
accessories, I knit like 10, not 10, 6.
No, but I think you knit like, 5 or 6 of those hats. And,
but that's just fun, because,
But that means you like your pattern, which is good. Yeah, same. I used to do more of that, and then I realized quickly, oh my gosh, I'm not going to remember all the little steps. So now I generally write it line by line as I go. And if it's a garment, I've started doing this lately, the last couple of designs I've worked on, where I actually will even do the grading before I even knit my sample.
Ooh.
I'm like starting to do that where I kind of I'll write maybe like half the pattern, including all the maths, then I'll cast on. And then I'm almost like my own test knitter.
Oh yeah.
Which kind of helps.
I probably should do that.
Yeah. But whatever works.
Yeah. Everyone's different.
And Alex's brain is very smart.
No, that's not what I was gonna say. It's very chaotic.
No, I was gonna say your brain. You're quick.
Yeah.
And you have a good brain. You have a great brain.
Oh, thank you.
I love your brain.
Thank you. I was gonna say something else. Like if you're not good at math or like not good at math and you're intimidated by grading. Like I know designers who also they do only the design and then they have someone do the grading for them, and that's definitely an option.
You can pay someone to do grading. It's probably more expensive than just paying a tech editor.
I'm guessing it would be, but
we both do our own grading.
Yeah, because we're cheap.
Yeah, but I have very often considered like I should just pay someone to do this because at least for me, I mean, I'm so busy. I'm like, I don't have time. And also when I get into grading mode, I don't know about you, but I have to be able to sit down all day,
and
just open the spreadsheets.
And like no one can talk to me.
No. Yeah. Usually like your brain needs to just like completely focus. Yeah. Grading is maybe the biggest learning curve.
I think so.
Yeah.
But learning how to use Excel or numbers on Max. Yeah. How do you promote your patterns?
Oh, I'm not very good at promoting my patterns.
I asked you because I don't.
Because I'm lazy. And I think because it's not my full-time thing as well, I just let it fall by the wayside. But what I would like to do, I had a newsletter for a while, and I would like to get back to my newsletter at some point because that's the best way to actually find people who they actually specifically are interested in my pattern, and you start to build your own little kind of audience of people who like your style or they've knit your designs before, and you get straight to them by emailing them. That's great. But then I sort of, at some point, I stopped sending out those newsletters. I still have probably a list of like subscribers somewhere.
Yeah.
So I want to get back to the newsletter thing because I think that's the way to go. Otherwise, I post a thing on Instagram and then...
Yeah, I post like 2 posts on Instagram. Yeah. Like I know there's so many designers who are really good at it.
Yeah.
I'm not one of them.
No, I post like 1 thing on Instagram, maybe 2, then I sort of forget about it.
Me too.
And then, we're bad. Yeah. So that is, I guess, like anything.
Watch a different YouTube channel for this part.
So I guess if you want advice, just look elsewhere.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I think that's true. Like, at the end of the day, it's a I guess you could call it a small business or a self-employed business. And there's a low barrier to entry, like we said. But like any business, you have to tell people what you're doing. So marketing is important. Like, we should probably have more of a strategy.
One more thing to add. If you're like me and you procrastinate, you're like
procrastinator?
Yeah, I'm a procrastinator, but then also I have those like bursts.
Yeah.
And sometimes it'll last a day, a week, or a month where I'm like super inspired and super efficient. But then there are months, like the last month where I'm back in New Zealand, where I just didn't do anything. And I think being okay with that and not like being super stressed out is a good thing. Because like it is kind of a business and you're stressed because you're like, oh, I haven't done anything this month. But then I think if you keep pushing yourself, because it's also a hobby, like it's something you love, and if you're doing it when you don't want to do it, then you lose the love, and that's not nice.
That's a really good point. It's a creative job.
Yeah.
And so there's this fine line where if you put too much pressure on yourself, it actually kills the creativity.
I think so.
You kind of have to balance that. And you're right, like, you can kind of do ebbs and flows. That's the benefit of working in a flexible job like this. You don't have to wake up and go to an office at the same time every day. Like, I guess the plus side of that is you have so much flexibility. You can kind of ride those waves of productivity, which I'm exactly the same. And then the downside would be the lack of structure means that you can just sort of
not do it.
Procrastinate indefinitely, which I think we're similar, and I think we both have a similar relationship with all of that, which is part of why having deadlines
is good,
but it needs to come from outside of me. I can't set myself a deadline. If I know that the deadline is fundamentally arbitrary, I'll just ignore it. But if I had like a magazine deadline or
there's
something.
like a thing I do where if I'm putting out a test knit, like if I'm done with a pattern and I just need to like do maybe like a few more hours of work, then I would put out the test knit call first, and it'll usually be like,
I do that too.
And I'll be like, oh, start like 2 days from now. So then I have 2 days to actually.
Yes.
Yeah.
I do that too. I'm like, I'm putting pressure on myself.
Yeah,
I'm like, okay, the test call's ready, and then I better be ready in time.
Yeah. That's what I do. Pro tip.
Yeah. Pro tip. Be like us. Don't be like us. Be like us.
Yeah. I mean, it's work.
It's working. Yeah. We're making money off of patterns, which is cool. Yeah. So what are you working on now? What's the future hold? What are your dreams, ambitions, goals?
Oh, I don't really think too much into the future. Like design-wise, I'm designing like a brioche, top-down saddle shoulder sweater. But because I didn't swatch, I didn't plan ahead, I think I'm gonna restart it today at midnight. And I have like a green, because I love green cardigan. That's more like a spring, summer, fall, autumn vibe.
The cable-y stuff, or the cable-y one?
The cable-y one.
That's really pretty.
That I started also 10 times.
Yeah, there's a lot of
frogging. There's a lot of frogging
in designing.
And restarting.
Yes. Yeah.
And sometimes, like, there are times where I'm like, if I just keep knitting, maybe it'll get better. But then, no, you just have to rip back more stuff.
Yeah, when you're designing, it's like we frog so you don't have to.
Yeah.
We rip it out 5 times so that by the time we write it down and you follow it, you don't have to do that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's maybe part of the service that a designer is providing to the community.
And also, like, sometimes you'll have this idea that you really want to do, but then by the 5th time you frogged it, you don't want to do it anymore. And I think maybe just, like, don't force yourself when you don't want to do it. Like, just, like, it doesn't mean you're abandoning the idea. Just, like, for now, work on something else. Yeah. So, like, don't force yourself, I think.
Totally.
Creatively, I don't think that works.
Yeah, I don't know if you have this experience, but some designs, they just flow. Yeah. And happen so easily. It's like they're designing themselves. Other stuff, it's like there's issue after issue, and it's just
like
going
it worked
wrong.
in your head, or like in your sketch, and it just doesn't work. Yeah.
But sometimes it's worth like pushing through. Like sometimes it ends up good, but I think my best designs have been the ones that they just kind of happen super easily. Like,
And I think also one more thing is like just like keep your expectation very. Not low. I'm sorry, this sounds bad, but just
lower
like
your expectations.
Not lower your expectations. Just don't place really high expectations on designs you really love, because oftentimes like something you're super proud of, you're like, oh my god, everyone's gonna love this, and like not a lot of people do.
Yeah.
But then designs where you're like, no one's gonna knit this, but then everyone loves it.
100%. You can't predict.
You cannot predict it.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying your design, that glove design is bad or anything, but just, can you talk about your most popular design?
Yeah, I think my most sold, the most sold design is my driftless mitts pattern, which is very basic. It's a pair of fingerless mitts that
She'll put it here.
Yeah, I'll insert a photo. It has like really simple color work on it. And I designed it as a total afterthought because I designed that hat, driftless hat, and then I was like, oh, I'll design these mitts. Total afterthought, totally casual. And then it's just weirdly my most popular pattern. And then my second most popular is Calypso, I think.
Yeah, but that's one you poured a lot of heart into.
I put more heart into that one. But that also flowed pretty easily. Yeah. Like, looking back, I sort of forget, like, how did I come up with that idea? I don't know. I just sort of, like, did it. What is your... Oh, it'd be interesting to know our most and least popular patterns. I don't know my least one. Do you know your most popular, like, top 2 or 3?
Yeah, I think... I mean, I don't really know about this one because it's in a magazine.
Oh yeah.
But I think my 2 top ones are the hat, the beanie that Alana's gonna show here, and then also the slipover version of the Anjou.
Oh, the slipover one is more but quickly talk about the design, the pullover was originally in a magazine, meaning that they were paying you royalties, but you weren't getting paid directly for the first period of time or something?
So they paid me like an amount so that they had exclusive rights to it for a year.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then after that year, they gave it back to you, basically, and now you just
I can
sell it directly.
Yeah. But I think it's because people don't want to knit sleeves.
Yeah, that's fair. People don't want to knit sleeves.
Yeah.
But I do want to wear sleeves.
Yeah. So. Oh, but I also think it's because that slipover pattern, it comes with 2 versions. Like, you can do a button version or a vest version, and it's like 2 in 1. So I think maybe that's also why it's popular.
It is also really cute. Like, you have that photo of the one with, I think you used Noro Ito.
Noro.
Yeah. And the colorful, it's similar to this with like the multicolored yarn. It's really pretty. Yeah. Yeah, you can never predict what people are going to like and what they're not. It's so true.
And what people like on social media might not be your most popular pattern, like pattern sales-wise.
Yeah, I think generally I could say probably throughout my designs, the most purchased patterns are the more simple ones, actually. Because the complicated ones, and I totally get this, you don't always want to sign up to do a really complicated project.
Yeah, because I have like a stripy scarf. Oh, I'll put it here.
Oh yeah,
Stripy,
twill scarf?
Yeah, the twill scarf. Like, it's really simple, but it's because like I knitted a stripy scarf once, just like because I had 2 balls of yarn, and then so many people requested a pattern. So then I made one, but then it's a really popular pattern, but I didn't think it would be because there are so many stripy scarf patterns already.
Well, that happened to me with what's my little scarf?
Firebird.
My Firebird scarf.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Oh, she'll put a photo there, which is the first photo, and it's me.
It's Alex's version. That's maybe part of why it's popular, because Alex made this beautiful, it was like a scrappy one.
Yeah, it was a scrappy one.
But it's so pretty. But also, same, that was like a super simple design.
Yeah.
I basically was like, well, I've knit Sophie scarves since then, and I like that pattern. But when I first tried to knit a Sophie scarf, I was like, it's hard to keep track of the increases and the decreases. And I just wanted to have a simpler, thin scarf. I wanted that bias.
Yeah, because mine is like that too.
Yeah, with the bias
it's basically
thing, right?
Similar shape.
Yeah, but your one has I-cord.
It's not I-cord, actually.
Oh.
Yeah, it's like stockinette. Oh. Because I don't like... Okay, I love the Sophie scarf. But one thing I don't really like I-cords is that I think especially for beginners, it's hard for them to get the right gauge, and a lot of them pull it too tight. Yeah. And so it could look a bit weird, but then for mine, it's actually just stockinette, so it's easier. But it looks like an I-cord.
It looks like I-cord. Okay, I didn't know that. Oh, maybe you have to send me that pattern and I can try knitting one. Yeah, so because my Firebird scarf is also, I think it's in my top 3 most sold patterns. And it's very basic, but it's customizable, and you can use one skein of yarn. It can be thick and thin and whatever, and it's
mine too,
so easy. Yeah, so I think people do like simpler designs.
I think so. What about you? What are your future plans?
My future plan in some unknown future is to actually one day be a full-time knitwear designer. That's when I'm really gonna like execute more of my plans. I think honestly, my current vibe or attitude is to relax and to just be happy with what I'm achieving right now and not be so hard on myself that I'm not getting out as many patterns as I want to. Like, if I get out a few patterns a year, great.
Yeah.
You know, so I think my plan or my vibe right now is just to try not to put so much pressure on myself. Like, I'm running a shop. Designing is currently not my full-time gig. So I'm just designing when I can, what I can. But in terms of plans for upcoming patterns, I do need to get my Black Cat Basics, no, what's it called? Black Cat Favorite Socks DK version out.
I also designed a DK sock pattern and I haven't,
We should just design the same stuff and just
collab.
Yeah. But yeah, I have to get my DK sock pattern out, and I want to do more. I have a few designs in the works, like my Earth Shades cowls, different weights
super
of yarn.
cute.
Yeah, I like those. One day, I think it'd be cool to write a knitting book, like a book of patterns. I have an idea in my mind of the type of knitting book I would want to do. I've got a couple ideas, but one of them is like geared towards beginners. I've been into beginners lately, making like my beginner scarf, beginner cowl, and I have a kind of concept in my mind of a beginner book where it takes you from nothing to having like a ton of skills, like it builds up your skills. Yeah.
I have an idea, like a super customizable, like a book where it takes you through like everything you can do, like different different constructions and shapes and like different colors, different shoulder styles, and
That's a good idea.
like basic but nice.
Yeah, you should write a book.
Yeah, we have to wrap it up because knit night has started.
The knit night people are, I think I hear them outside the door. We like shut the door, and I think knit night is technically supposed to be starting. Yeah, so we should probably let them come in. But thanks, buddy.
Thank you. I don't think I've ever shaken your hand.
Thanks, buddy.
Thanks, buddy.
Thanks, buddy. Okay. Thanks for watching.
Thank you for watching. Bye.
Bye.